Yo, yo, yo! What's up, Rectory? It's Anari, Mo Money, Mo Buckets. So let's get right into it because we have a lot for you today.
So Mo, the Rectory School has been waiting on your personal opinion of what brand you would like to be sponsored by.
Ooh, that's a really good question. Without a doubt in my mind, I would want to be sponsored by Nike, the same brand as LeBron James, the GOAT himself, and my idol.
Mo, I can't lie to you, that is a very good choice, but I would rather be sponsored by Adidas because that is the same brand that sponsors my idol, Candace Parker.
If you couldn't tell, we're diving into our squash segment, where we were able to catch up with Mr. Richards, and he dropped some knowledge on us about squash.
What is squash?
So squash is a racket sport played generally between two people. It does have a doubles component as well, but the majority of squash is played 1 versus 1. Most people think about squash kind of like tennis that takes place in a box, or similar to the more popular, more familiar sport of racquetball. So that's what squash is.
What are the rules?
Well, squash is notoriously a sport with an almost unnecessary amount of rules. A typical squash rule book, rather than being just a couple pages long, actually has multiple chapters to it. But the general rules that players need to know is that your entire goal is to keep the ball within the described bounds of the court and to have the ball bounce 2 times before your opponent can get it. If you keep to those rules and you play to 11 points, usually best 3 out of 5, you're able to determine a winner.
How many players do you need?
Well, I guess that's a question depending on what level you're playing at. Typically for Rectory, like I said, squash is played 1 versus 1, 1 player from Rectory versus 1 player from our opposing team, but we need 7 complete pairings in order to make full match work. So you play first to win 4 matches, so 7 versus 7, but at the collegiate level they start playing 9 versus 9, and then the professional circuit is all individual.
What type of equipment do you need?
Squash, thankfully, just has a pretty small equipment list. You obviously need an approved squash ball to be on the court. At the level that we play at, which is where professionals play at as well, you need a double dot squash ball, a double yellow dot. You need a squash racket. You can't use a tennis racket on the court. It won't have the same ability to strike that ball. You'll need protective eyewear, approved squash goggles, and really importantly, you'll need proper squash shoes. The reason you need that is so that you don't mark up the court, so you can't really just wear your running shoes. You need indoor court shoes that allow lateral movement so you don't get hurt and you leave the courts looking nice and proper.
Good win.
Now, squash looks really intense. One thing I know for sure is that I would not want to go up against Clement. So Mo, I know you had mentioned earlier that LeBron James was your favorite player. May I ask why?
LeBron James is my favorite player because he is a great player and a good leader on and off the court. And that brings us into our next segment about Rectory captains.
At the end of each season, we'd like to acknowledge our team captains for having their name added to a plaque downstairs in the gym. We interviewed Coach Roy to get an insight on how he chooses his boy varsity A captains.
Every year I have the boys write a paper about what it means to be a leader and a captain. And I do this because when I was in college, my junior year, I was made a captain. And for the longest time, I had no idea what it meant to be a captain, what went into it, what leadership was. And really, I didn't really know why I was named a captain. And so when I started my team, I decided that kids should want to have ownership in this process. And so they write a paper. It's about a page requirement. And then they have to read their paper to their teammates. And their teammates decide if they can hold them up to that standard, and then they vote for them. And we have our players vote for them. We have our coaches vote. And we come together and share out the news and celebrate this achievement.
Wow. Being a varsity A captain, or a captain in general, isn't something that is given, but it's something that's earned. Now let's hear what it means to be a VA captain, or a varsity captain, or any captain with our captains at Rectory.
To me, being a captain means being someone who is supportive and there for your teammates when they're feeling discouraged, and just being someone who your teammates are comfortable around and can talk to.
A captain means to me like being a good friend to like everyone else on my team and kind of encouraging them to do their best.
Captain means I can lead by example. And
you have to motivate your teammates. During swimming practice, we sometimes get to coach those younger children. So being able to help the team improve as a whole is, I feel like, is the main thing of the captain.
Being a captain means encouraging your teammates to do the best that they can in practice and during situations, even on and off the court.
Being a captain means a lot to me because I've been on the squash team for 4 years now, and I've looked up to many leaders and many captains in the past, and I'm very happy to be able to lead my teammates and hopefully make an impact on the squash team.
I feel like a captain means just bringing the energy every day.
Man, Rectory captains are really no joke. Not only are they aspiring leaders, but they're very skilled.
Now let's take a ride down J Peak and see how the ski trip went over the long weekend. Ah! All we have for you guys today. And just a little hint, make sure you know as much as you can about Rectory sports for next episode. See you all next time. Wolves out!